All right. Hey, John McKay here. I hope I am getting some sound through. This tonight's live thing is about 501c3 status with the trust. And I just want to say that there's a newer video which should have been up for a little bit anyway. There's a newer video in the course for the trust. The video that goes with the trust itself is a newer video, went up in the last week or whatever. So even if are a long time student or whatever, you should probably watch this new video because I would watch it. I think it's a better explanation in there of the details of things, what you're doing, and so on, including the topic that we're going to talk about tonight. But that's where I teach it in there as a training in the in the coursework. So, but we'll talk about 501c3 status with the trust a little bit tonight. Um, I guess could anyone hear me? I hope so. You can hear me. It looks like my mic's not moving. Oh, oh boy, that's not good. You can hear. Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. All right. Thank you. Okay, so anything that's on your mind, let me know, and I'll answer questions too. Um, it's been slow here at Liberty Aid Academy. I'll tell you all summer. Hopefully the school will continue. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's surprising to me after a decade of doing this work. I learned about another student. Now there's a seventh school spawn that I know of that has stolen my copyrighted work and selling it as their own. Basically, former students that are evil are putting me in a business that I might just, I don't know, I might just go back to law school and, destroy my credit and just go take their money. You know what I mean? And go cause the end of time. Like, I have destroyed my credit and supported this school to be able to teach people, but I'm not going to do it again. I mean, if people don't want this information, oh well, it's not worth it to people. I don't know what else they're gonna do, but they can do something else. Um, so we'll see how that goes. Just we'll just kind of bare bones it, and I'll just be taken out of the equation. Uh, gotta gotta go slice them up somehow and take their money, right? That's all there is. So I could just go get better at it. Found your work through one of these schools. Yeah, it is like free advertising. It is. Only thing is, we pay $5,000 every month in advertising, and we, don't cover that and our other expenses of uh, our staff. We just, yeah, they're evil, so they put it out there, but no one can see us. So yeah, no, that's right. It's you know, ultimately, a very few people come through them getting this message out there and find me. And I'm learning a lot of people just, and then they don't pay anyway, and they just get in like the classroom or ask me questions or whatever, and they'll just go for years like that. It's impossible to shake the fleas ultimately. You know what I mean? Like, they're everywhere. You can't even keep them out of your own school. Everywhere else, like, they're constantly, just ruining everything. That's good. Hey, Sour Queen. So 501c3 status, but that's a little update. We'll see. Um, I'm really, after let's see, I say a decade, but longer. There's really no. If anything, there's a lowered interest in the truth and a lowered interest in God. In my experience, just people are becoming disinterested in anything honest or truthful, and just that's no one cares no more. That's just, uh, so that's what I'm seeing. Like, sure, somebody may come along once in a while or whatever, but in the human population, there's just after this long, it's amazing. Just people aren't really interested in this. How get a bar card? Just because they teach me the mechanics of how to go to federal court and so on, and I would sue everybody plagiarizing my work, which has got to be like a dozen people now that I could easily find and take all their wealth, and then that's one way that's pretty easy because everyone who's stolen my work doesn't even have a college degree. Do you follow me? And they don't have, even if they have lots of wealth, which some of them do, none of them have any uh, intelligence. You know what I mean? To just steal and then say that's mine. You know what I mean? And you're like in your 20s or something. Like really, that's your work, really. And you don't even have a college degree. That's really something. Like you know, you'd have to spend. I'd have to spend so much of my time, let's say, drop a minimum of 25 grand on a lawyer just to look into one single individual copyright problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, my God. Uh right? So what's the point? Like, no way. But now it's like I'm just faded into nothingness here, so maybe I'll just I don't know. And nobody's really interested in God that much either. Like, I divulged all the hidden truth that humans need to know. There's actually nothing hidden anymore, either spiritually or financially. Nothing. I revealed every single hidden thing that there is. So the game is up, and people have decided, and there just aren't many humans. Like maybe there's 1,000 on each continent. You know what I mean? And I probably interacted with most of them already. I probably got the 1,000. You know what I mean? From this continent. I interacted with them, a couple hung around. It feels like I'm kind of reaching the end of humans. Uh, it's just there's no mechanism anymore for to reach anyone who's a human. Like they just clamp every way you could paid advertise or anything you could do, get kicked out of a platform. Like there's just there's no more mechanisms for reaching anyone. They've kind of ended them. So what I've been doing. How long have I been going to drum circles to? Like over 5 years. I've done posted up stuff that I can deliver people and stuff. Like people just aren't interested in God. And let's just say I've done miracles, right? Like that's all I do is I can get you out of death and taxes and all and get all this money and all that, right? No, not really much interested in any of that. Not you all. Not you all. Not you all. The people that are here, thank you for the supporting the school, the work and stuff. And we're here to help you, obviously. That's what we've been doing for a long time. But I'm just saying, like, I just feels like there aren't that many humans in the what is it called? The Truman Show here. Okay, 501c3 status. Let's just go at tonight's topic. Okay. Uh, so this is this trust has 501c3 status when you get the EIN. Okay. That's when it has it. When it gets the EIN, that's when you've given a notification. You check the proper boxes, and while getting the EIN, and great. Now that EIN is what gives this trust 501c3 status. That's what it has. 501c3 status. If you're saying something else, maybe you saw some of my earlier work or something like that when I was working through it. But listen, I didn't start this based on an IRS code. I didn't go into Chase Bank and open up First Trust. knowing anything about any IRS tax code that came a couple years later. Years, you see? I just knew it was tax free because what? It got We Trust is top dog, right? It got We Trust slash USA Inc. That's every currency is tied to the dollar, so that's the trust that rules all the slaves on earth and all the slave plantations, right? Because everyone here within my voice and everyone under the dome is a slave. There's actually no mechanism that exists for you not to be a slave. You are a slave. You will always be a slave. There's nothing else you will be. You'll never get out of that. Not ever. You can be a slave to the devil. Everyone is currently working side with God. Oh, those are your options. There's actually no other option to do that. There's a lot more, if you side with God, then you leave. You don't have to return here. If you side with the devil, it's like, oh, here you are. You just keep coming back. Oh, great. And here you are again. So, but this gets you to the end of time, gets you to, Judgment Day and so on. People mistakenly think that I don't know, and haven't been proved by work for over a decade. Unfortunately, there is no truth that is I haven't revealed. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing hidden. There's nothing that's going to change. Nothing is going to be like, oh, there's something now. There's nothing else actually. For me, it's just 10 years of just what? I mean, I actually don't know what else miracles to perform. I've run out of miracles to do. Who? Let's just say, if I walked on water, who would that help? No one, right? Getting people out of taxes, yes, that helps. Getting people out of debt, that's helpful. Is it really? But anyway, people want out of death. I don't, but people do. So uh gets you out of death, gets you out of taxes, and then you're not giving the government anybody, and they give you money, right? 501c3 status. It's also a special kind of 501c3 status, isn't it? Because you get it through Section 508c1a of the IRS code, right? And this is a convention within that code. A convention is agreement between two parties. They don't define it within the IRS code, but they define it within Black's law. When something isn't defined, right, within some in the body of an instrument, that you're using, like the IRS code, which is which is part of the We Trust, right? That's the corpus, right? What do they call it? The not the Bill of Rights. That's part of it. Anyway, this is this is the code that they have. This is how they run the In God We Trust. Okay, so it's the details of it. Uh, so okay, this is top dog. So I was like, I don't know anything about taxes, but I don't know the In God We Trust doesn't pay any taxes. Up to who? There's no up from them. They rule every slave and every plantation. No, it's free to go anywhere. Are you kidding me? Nothing's free. I know it's free to go anywhere, right? Government's a hoax, right? Government's supposed to be, oh, you get to, hey, everybody, you get to choose who would be the best managers of all our land and all our resources, which actually we don't have any of, right? They sold them all to their own corporations that they own because they made a law that made it legal to steal everything in the whole country, including every house, every building, everything under the ground, everything on the ground, all the air, all the water, all the everything. They stole it all. Everything they stole, everything. They stole everything. I had someone, you know, a reasonable question. You would think, uh, her she has. I know there are children that listen to what I say because what else you could have children listen to? Who else speaks the truth? Name someone. Write down someone in the comments. Let's see. No, sadly, right? Sadly, but children are in this quandary, right? Because you have you know, you're in a free country, everything's great, blah 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 blah. This whole, everything's not true. It was just difficult to accept as a child. You mean all adults are lying? All of them? Yes. And you have to impart that information on your children. That's a hard thing for them to understand. You know what I mean? Why would they all lie? That's what the first question. Why are they lying? And it's like, well, ask yourself as a child, why do you lie, right? To get the outcome you want, right? Oh, yeah, I ate all the cookies. What would you say? No, I didn't eat all the cookies. Then you would be in trouble for eating the cookies. So why do you lie? I mean, God is so simple. And they ate all the cookies. They ate them all. And if you have any cookies, we ate them all, and we're gonna come by and steal any cookies you got. That's just who they are, right? They have a level of greed, which is from what? Pride, right? They love themselves enough to make us slaves. That's how much they love themselves. Oh, we are so excellent. We're going to make you slaves. That's just a fact, okay? The bank doesn't have anything. I'm an accountant with an MBA and a master's in accounting. Okay. The bank doesn't have any assets on its books according to generally accepted accounting principles. They don't even follow accounting. Do you follow? They don't have any assets. When you go to a bank and you want to borrow money, they don't have the money. They don't have anything. What do they have? They have a license from the Income We Trust to create money on the spot instantaneously out of thin air. They have a license to do that, right? Pop it out of the ether. Poop, here it is. We have a license for that. Guess what? That's illegal. That's against the law. That's illegal. You're not giving anything of value that you had prior that have value. It just became valuable automatically. Oh, well, that's why they never signed anything. You see, because it would be an illegal contract. They don't even enter into their own contract. And then you go to court, you're like, hey, this thing don't have a signature on it. They're like, yeah, so it has their name on it. You are the money, that's it. Or what? So all courts are fake. Everyone worships the devil. They all do it willingly. If you think someone that you know works for the government as a teacher, at kindergarten, and all that crap doesn't worship the devil, you're 100% wrong. You are 100%, you don't know them. You know nothing about anything if you think that. You don't know anything. You know zero. Okay? That's the way it is. How could they get a license to it? They don't get an actual physical license to do it. They just don't get arrested, right? And they just pay the money. You're a bank, so what? You paid out everybody all this money, and everybody gets their kickbacks, and you know they have a slave thing, and everybody's at different levels. That's we have an invisible slave system, and which mum's the word. Yay. Okay. Ever look for a bank license? I asked for a lot of them. Guess what? I took one to court once, and it was this lender, and they brought in a business license, like from a local jurisdiction, from like a county or a city, from like 4 years prior to the court date. The banks don't have licenses and crap like that. That's a whole lot of time and money and bullshit. What? Why are they gonna do all that stuff? It's all fake. You can't have a bank unless you're literally not even a human. You're a fallen angel that looks like a human. You can't have one. You can't do it. Like you can't have a bank. It's shocking. Like you already know that. So this is slavery. Period. You see, it's slavery of one species is enslaving humans. Okay, that's what's going on. All right. There's nothing else going on. Everything else is fake. All society is fake, 100% of it. Non-humans that look like humans are enslaving humans. Period. Nothing else is happening. Nothing, not one other thing. Nothing. Nothing else is going on. Not another thing. And actually, nothing else ever will happen. Nothing ever will happen. Nothing else but that will ever happen. You see what I'm saying? And I just want to be as a you have a good heart. You come in as a child, not them, but you're sweet, care about other people. You think that's what society is doing because that's what it tells you it's doing. Of course, none of it's true. We look like who's running things and what's going on, and so none of that's true. None of it. Zero. Why do we pay for houses? I don't understand. Can you help me out with that? I don't understand any of it. There are people that are managing the country. The country is fully owned, right? No one, you're just managing things that we already own, the country, right? And you have an army, navy, air force, all that. If somebody said, "Oh, you owe us money," to a country with all the weapons that exist, right? Could crush all the other. What would our military be for? Does anyone know? We would what? They say, that mafia over there says, we owe money as a country. And what would we do? Go kill them. Like, that would be the only useful thing the military actually could do. The one single thing. How would we owe money? I don't understand. You make In God We Trust notes, dollars. You make them. Like, they aren't there, and you make them, and you're the government. How could you possibly owe money? How? It's slavery. It's slavery. It's slavery. You can't tell me it's anything else. There's nothing else going on. It's enslavement on purpose. That's what's going on, okay? So, people get like, oh, yes, like there's this shocking, disjointed reality of society. All society is fake. All knowledge is fake. Everything taught in school is a lie or fake, or just a means of communication, like English is a language or math. Oh, you can communicate and be some useful, slave. That's it. And the rest of it's just all lies. Now, get to work slave. Period. Pay your bills, do it again for what? Billions and billions of lifetimes, billions. And, nobody ever finds out. So, uh, what I said, to tell children is no one has an argument that we're not in slavery. So, when you're a slave, literally, you're a slave on a plantation. That's what you are, period. Now you're enslaved to another species, okay, not even a human, all right? They look like humans. You're not even enslaved to a human species, okay? So, is it moral and ethical and correct and right and righteous to murder every single one of them, like all bankers? Of course it is. And you go to heaven 100%, absolutely, right? You're leaving a slave plantation, you kill the slave master and the whole family, so nobody follows you and kills you and your family. Obviously, that's moral, ethical, legal, right. Go to heaven. Nothing evil about that. 100% correct. Even the babies, right? 100%. Kill them all. Go to heaven. Absolutely. But do I advocate that? No. I don't advocate that. You see what I'm saying? But that's moral and ethical for all slaves, which we are. So, you get every single penny you can, right? And you just try and get better at it and try and destroy the system that you live within, which is the society. You try and none of it has any value, none of it, zero value. And you're just trying to take everything you can out there. And, you care about yourself and your loved ones and no one else, right? And everyone is guilty until they're proven innocent. Let's see your trust. Let's see you sign it. Let me see what date. Let me see what you've been doing. Let me see everything you got, or I don't trust you. You see what I'm saying? Everyone guilty until proven innocent. It's all of them, right? They're upholding the society of slavery. Pay your, can't get out of death and taxes. You can't if you're a moron. You can't if you're just an idiot. But everybody else could, Why you keep saying that, by the way? Why you keep saying it? Because you're not human. You see? Anyway. I just have had to, yeah, yeah. Oh my god, they're just, you know what I mean. You have to get away from this programming. You see what I'm saying? It's a kindness not to just take a gun and blow their head off. And should Okay, maybe you should read the Bhagavad Gita. You know what I'm saying, right? Because this is really what it is. Maybe you should read that book. You see, there's this dude Arjuna, right? He's a prince, and he one day he's going to become king, right? And so, but he ain't old enough. So this other guy comes and steals his kingdom, right? Uh, and then Krishna comes along. Krishna comes along and says to the two of them, right? Hey, uh, I'm gonna let you duke it out and win. Okay, let's see who wins. One of you can have all the society, all the army, all the wealth, all the land, all the plantation, all the buildings, all the banks. You have all of that, and the other guy gets me. And Arjuna goes, I'll take you. And the other guy's like, yes, you idiot. Right? And then Krishna goes, hey, Arjuna, go kill them all, which he does. You see what I'm saying? Because they deserve it. Absolutely. 100%. Put him in cages and keep him there forever, right? To keep our children safe. They're just pure evil. That they would go along with a slave system to the devil knowingly. Not human, period. Obviously. You see what I'm saying? Or so lacking in heart, right? And courage, which is heart. They don't have a heart. They're not human. They don't have hearts, literally. Why would they? Why would some humans need to breathe, eat, have blood pumping in them? Why? What would that? That'd be like extra work, you know? Why not just have them function and just it doesn't have to make sense. Everything's a miracle anyway. It doesn't have to make sense. Like that's why they worship the owl. They just take in food and spit it out. You know, we look like we're real. That's what they are. You can't tell me any different because they don't behave in any other manner. You see? All right. So we have this 501c3 status, right? You're at the Inga We Trust level. You can't mess with me anymore. I'm okay, right? I talked to some Christians last night. Oh, and I mean, I don't know what they are. What are Jehovah's Witnesses? Devil worshiper. I mean, they think they're worshiping the Bible. I was like, you can't be worshiping the Bible. You have to pick one or the other, New Testament or Old Testament. No, we worship the whole thing. I'm like, what? What? You don't even understand that about it? What? You know what I mean? Like, no one's helpful. You see what I'm saying? So you focus on what you can do, organize what you can do, find the truth you can, and 6 feet creatures, eh, you know, guilty until proven innocent for the safety of you and your loved ones. Period. What have you done? So it's I'm Christian. Oh, well, so you serve your brothers and sisters? Where's your publicly posted stuff where you're beating the devil? Where you're because you have to have that if you're Christian. Because if you just say you're Christian, what? What's that? Hypocrite. Boom, hell. Bah, that's it. Okay. But I hear this, you know what I mean? And I can understand, because why are the children having a problem with it? Because the adults ain't getting it through their heads, I can't get it through the children around me either, honestly, I don't know what to tell them. I really, after this long, I just say the truth and people like, boink, I don't know what it is. So few. So continuous, this is the real continuous work for whatever you're doing, isn't it? Get rid of this programming, right? The normal people are the crazy people are normal people. That's our reality. Yeah. uh you were on a ball and it's spinning at 999 miles an hour under your feet. It's like, how come my shoes aren't like smoking and on fire? How come my feet aren't lighting on fire at this moment from the spin under it's doing what? Can you imagine, right? Okay, 501c3 status, right? They're running a hidden system, right? If you're managing a bunch of, yeah, let's just say not very intelligent slaves, right? Humans aren't intelligent, right? They haven't even figured out they're slaves yet, let alone how to beat the slave system or anything. They don't even know they're slaves, you know? So they haven't really uh put that much into, you know, they haven't built a secret second system. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we do everything over here, and the slaves do everything over here. No, no, no. There's one financial system. You see, and so they're using the same one. It's just that all their money is hidden, like yours. Everyone that does this trust is now hidden. You know, you use a bank account, you don't report, you don't pay taxes, so there's no paper trail. No one can get like, excuse me, bank records, right? From someone else's bank accounts and stuff like that. So no one knows this stuff. So it's a clever hidden system, and you keep your slaves well trained so that the really stupid slaves, like, no, it's like, no, I can show you this provable. Da, 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 da. They're like, no, okay, no, no, for you, you know, and pretty much everybody else. You see, it's a very clever system. If you have slaves and you don't, you want to have your slaves work the financial system so you could be out on your mega yacht, you know what I'm saying, in the Mediterranean, and that we can shapeshift easily in and out of the water and whatnot, and you're to your villa, mess with the humans, whatever their species does, I don't know, they're creepy to me. Uh, but they don't work or nothing like that. What? Right? They don't do nothing like that. They have us do the work, and they just put us in the positions like, hey, banker bait, if you're between the ages of 21 and 27 and female, you can stand in a lobby at a bank. If if we think you'll look good. And this is what Becky is. Go through the training. Okay, you dress like this. And you go, banker bait, right? Like they're morons. You work at a bank, and you're either right, pretty bait, or you're evil. One of the two, right, or both. That's who's there. So, reason I'm bringing this up is because people like can't get off their programming. They're like, "Well, where do you get your 501c3 letter?" You don't. That's what makes it a hidden system, and so they can operate this whole thing, and nobody notices anything, you see? And that's why I'm cool since 2016. Here I am. Like, look at all this stuff on the IRS website. You can't do this. You can get out of trust. Blah 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 blah. And you hear I said, you see what I'm saying? Like, so they're, you know, giant government. We have what, by the way, what's the most evil thing anyone could say about an organization? In my opinion, what's the most evil thing? You're the military superpower would be the most evil uh uh what definition, right? Or explanation, or what, that's description. I'm sorry, I was looking for the word description. Uh that'd be the most evil description of an organization possible, right? Military superpower. Why do you think you need a military superpower with all them stupid idiots in helmets that do what you say and weapons and stuff? You think we might get wise to your whole bank and slavery thing? Then what might we do? Right? I mean, it's pretty clever, They train our young ones, the young humans, to pick up a gun against me, right? Against their own population. And if not just our population, well, every other population, because they better pay in dollars or what? We're sending our military. Now give us dollars. And, oh, new government. Haha. What happened? What happened? What? Whoops. The plantation got a new, you know, crew. Uh, it's totally different though. These guys are good guys, but totally pay your dollars or else, we'll get a new management crew in again. USA, right? Moving all the drugs. That's what military is for. Moving all the drugs, moving all the slaves, doing everything evil, right? Making sure you don't see. And this invisible financial system is what keeps that whole thing afloat. That you can't see the money, it's running through the banks and all that stuff, though. Just like you're running through it. So 501c3 status comes from getting the EIN. You have it. I've proven that. Nobody's after me. The guy we trust, who are they paying to? You see, I didn't have all this code and stuff before I started this, but the logic of it was there. Code come after. Even if you don't know the code, who cares? They don't come after you. Even if I still didn't know the code, I'd still be sitting here. Hiya. Just find out the code and tell you all that stuff, whatever. So one of them Illuminati creeps came along and, one of them laid down some dribble. But does that really even matter? Not really. Like it's 501c3 non-reporting status, 6033 is that code for non-reporting. It reads word for word like the 508c1a. So, I mean, but it's cool to know that. Hey, here's some jargon. Here's the deets of where it is in this, the IRS code that would be a book that would be from here to the dome. That's a big book. You'd never find it. But they know it's something hiding in there. And I just went through the logic of, hey, go we trust. Oh my God, let me see if I can go do this. That's all. Turns out it was logic that worked. So this is very simple. You have to accept, like, it's hard to accept the whole thing. You see what I'm saying? But unless you do, you're like, oh, well, I don't know if I could do this. Well, what do you think they're doing? All of them. You see what I'm saying? They're not paying taxes. They don't have to report their money or none of that stuff. What are you talking about? You think they're paying for houses? Like, who can afford mortgage payments that are like, I don't know, $4,000 a month? That's like sort of the average amount if you were going to get a house somewhere in a city now. Who could do that? You follow me? Let me explain. I'll tell you what. Let me just hijack this thing here for a second while I'm on that line of reason and just tell you how you could, right? For a marriage situation, how could you have like a traditional family? I'll tell you, meaning mother, father, let's say 4 children, right? Let's say 6 children. Traditional family, right? Just God birthed these children and here we go, right? How could you do that? How could you financially get by? Like, it's impossible, right? Impossible, 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 what I just said, right? Impossible. Except it's not. Either you're one of them or what? If you had like, let's see, if you had like 6 children and 2 adults, that's what? That's 8 persons, right? You could literally be taking like 250 grand per year off a credit that you taken from one of them 8 persons, right? Every year, 250 grand. You know what I mean? You're constantly set up. The whole family is working towards building credit and all this stuff. Your mailbox is full every day. What? Thanks for the plastic. You know what I mean? But then you get $250,000 a year. You get great at it. You know what I mean? And you could even do it with their children, just like, maybe a digit goes different in a birthday. You know what I mean? Like maybe you add 20 years, to a 1-year-old. Oops, whatever. What? Like, especially when everybody gets older too. Like, why not do this? Like, children can have credit cards, debit cards, stuff like that. And even if they can't, like you just tell them enough times to, credit reporting agency, oh, this is a person. Oh, I guess that's wrong again. You can correct stuff. Get that person working early. Put them, get it to work. Be nice if you had a nice credit profile if you're age 18. It's like, man, I got like a 800 credit score and like 25 accounts. Wouldn't that be a nice thing to have happen when you're 18? And it's like, and before I was that age, I actually took like my person took like 250 grand like 3 times before that. It's like, dang, or 2 times, you follow me? Like, there is a way to have a traditional family, you just have to use these skills and release your programming, like why to go to school or stuff like that, right? Like, we're just working it here, you know what I mean? Go do what you want. Like this is our code according to our code, where we're the god or whatever, we ain't one of them. But you lose your programming, school has no value, it's all a bunch of lies. Like how if you're hanging around humans all day, you're gonna learn English. And if you're like working on like getting back what you can from the government and bank stuff, you're gonna learn math. So and the rest of it's BS. So why would you send your children? I call schools day prisons. You know, it's like I should have never let my kids go. They got like after being homeschooled so many years, we want to go to school. And they got stupid. It's like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, and they still are. So maybe that was my fault. I don't know. But, if you raise a really, that's all you're doing, what else are they going to know? They're going to know everything's fake, which it is completely. How could what everyone has like this crazy high level job where I bought a Tesla and I bought a house, I'm paying the mortgage. Who? What? We got 2 cars, like, you do the math, you're like, "How?" It doesn't add up. It's like, wait, do you have there's no way across the country, you see, they don't pay bills and stuff. They just don't do it. Where they're giving stimulus money out the back on the regular where they just fake pay some stuff, you know what I mean? But where would the money come from? You see what I'm saying? It's illogical. It doesn't match any kind of math possibilities whatsoever. You see? None whatsoever. Some people claim they put property into a trust without an EIN. What are your thoughts on this? Claims, huh? Right. They have unsubstantiated claims. I mean, maybe they could do things, you know what I'm saying, that we can't do. That's there's like when the system I was just describing, how does the money get doled out or how do you not pay bills and stuff? There's certain elements which we're just not one of their species and we won't probably unless we come across some thing get to know why. They're like the ultimate communists, you know what I'm saying? They're like think of it, you know what I'm saying? Think of them not as humans. You gotta think of them as like insects, which is what they're closer to, you know, like bees or ants, you know? In times of stress, ants and bees do crazy stuff that they just do. Oh, well, let's eat members of the hive. Let's eat, you know, the honey. Like they don't they're didactic, they're heartless, you know what I'm saying, which keeps their species alive and all that, but wouldn't wanna be one, you see? So maybe they could do certain things like that, like, what I say, like, banks don't have licenses and why would they? That's a whole lot of paperwork and nonsense that's like, you know, Disney has, like, character outfits and stuff. They don't do NASA doesn't go to the moon. They have like, hey, we got outfits and stuff. They don't. Why have Sure, we need some rockety looking junk around and blah de blah, a little bit of that stuff. But past that, what's the point? You follow me? Like, you know, maybe they could do certain things like that. Maybe, you know, maybe. In any case, what's the point? Who cares? You see what I'm saying? Because what? A private trust is based on what? What does it mean by private? Ooh, and also, it's a synonym, right? A synonym is non statutory, right? A synonym is non statutory of private. What does that mean? It means you yourself created this trust, no one else. You didn't use an agent, right? Agent. Age. Where did age? Entity. New Testament agent. We didn't use a fallen angel. We use one of them, right? We didn't use one of them. Agent, angel, come on. We didn't use one of them, right? We didn't get one with a license. We didn't get a CPA public license. We didn't use a lawyer. We didn't use them. We didn't use some of the Secretary of State. We didn't use them, right? We didn't use that. We created ourselves. That's what. So someone with a license is someone with a statutory license, right? Comes from the state. So they're a statutory agent, right? Agent of the state, a recycler. Oh, age from the New Testament, right? Agent. They're one of them, right? Where am I going with this? Oh my God, how could I blow through that? I'm sorry, kind of lost it there in the middle. Point being that I guess that they being carried on the system that's just sort of fake and has to look a little bit real, but not super real. You know what I mean? But I've tried to get around using this trust, and I know other people have too. But I'll tell you what, and lots of people are have stolen my trust, started other schools and stuff. It could work for you like that. There's people I work with here and stuff, and pretty much every hey, why don't you spin off that whole spiritual stuff? That doesn't belong with the trust. I'm like, oh, you don't think so, huh? You don't think I am who I am. You don't think so, huh? You don't think the trust to get out. You don't think the contract to get out of the trust of the devil. You don't think that part's real, and you don't think that an agent, right, for the New Testament is the only one that can hand that out. You think other people could take the contract and hand it out because and they become that agent? How you didn't do your due diligence, did you? If you didn't get it properly, right, through the spiritual hierarchy, none of the spiritual effects are going to have any effect for you. Zippo, baby. If you did, you understand it, and it's going to work for you. That's it. Everything is super simple. Everything, oh, it's complex. No, either with the devil or you're with God, and there's a contract, and everything flows from that. That's it. Blah, blah, blah. Never see the proof, right? Never see the proof. Well, they don't exactly. Well, that's the whole thing. This script is set. This script is set. You know what I mean? I was a general contractor licensed general contractor for 25 years, right? Different states. And during COVID, right? I'm living in Venice Beach in a small town in Florida. And it's one of their towns, perfectly laid out and everything is it's all the weird streets. It's where they have a tiny little teensy little airfield. That's where they trained the pilots from 9/11, Venice. Not kidding. Anyway, so I ran a place there during COVID, right? And there's sort of the main street and old stuff, right? There's only one gas station in this old stuff area, okay? And during COVID, they shut it. Okay, the government shut down. I don't mean kinda. I mean it's shut down, right? The government shut. The like county offices, the town offices of Venice, they're shut. They are closed. They're not open. Okay. During this time, the Shell gas station, right, is demoed. All the tanks taken out, everything. You know what I mean? Like supposedly that's supposed to be this nightmare thing you have to get permits for and stuff. That was all just the second COVID hits, right? That place just goes up. I remember talking about this on video that I would take right. I would do live videos. So I went over there. I was like, I'm gonna go over there this one day. There are two cop cars right on the sidewalk, so I couldn't walk around the sidewalk. I went in between the fence and them, like they know I'm there. I'm filming. I'm talking, whatever. Anyway, how could you demo a gas station in a town, right? No permits. No permitting process. They just blast, they get rid of the whole thing, build a whole nother one brand new. No permits. The town is shut. No permits, nothing like that. I mean, it's just the entire everything is fake. It's just it's like Disney World. You don't work at Disney. You see what I'm saying? You're visiting Disney's park. You don't work at Disney. You have no idea what's up. No, like it's all fake. It's all fake. They just have this thing worked out and that's it. They're not human. They don't display anything human. That's why this hidden thing, you see what I'm saying? This 501c3 status is hidden. There's no paperwork trail. There's an ability to do it, which we're doing, which makes it almost impossible for everyone else to do it because you have to have gotten far along in deprogramming yourself, or you'd be like, nah, you'd be so scared you would be doing nothing. You know what I mean? Like, and that's pretty much every human. I feel like I might have reached all the humans. That's why I'm like, I don't know. Should I keep doing this? This seems like a waste of time. Like, I appreciate the support. I can't do this without the support, but it's just kind of waning after the years. There's not many more humans out there. I don't think so, you know? Like, feels like it's pretty much just zombies. No, man, beer, football, America. What? That's America. It's like it says it right there on the TV. It does, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Well, why would it, it sure does. This is the only trust anyone should operate. Yeah, say the name with the game. Yeah, it's real. Jesus Christ, you're right, Al. And so this, it's nice that the financial system and see their system goes together seamlessly. They are human looking, right? And they are united, body, form, mind, thoughts, feelings with their hive, right? They have devil consciousness, right? They're like queen hornet, right? There's a queen bee, a queen hornet, there's a lead ant, there's a queen ant, right? And there's a devil. They operate the same way, like insects. They don't say anything to anyone else if they're all out there anting away, right? Ant, it's their anthem, right? Anthem, right? How are they doing all this? Well, first of all, they don't do anything different, not ever. The script doesn't ever change one iota, so they're always not each day doing the same exact thing, but each time loop, every single day, they're doing the same exact thing, pretty much, which very few changes or exceptions, hardly ever. So they're sort of, a robot, really. They're like an organic robot. You think a robot, oh, well, but, just because 'cause they're not made out of wood and, metal and stuff don't make them not a robot, right? They don't have actual consciousness. They have a limited consciousness. If you start asking questions, like, you start bringing up the stress and stuff, and they can't actually form sentences about the topic you're speaking. They'll move to another topic and say something else in a general sort of, "Oh, isn't the weather nice?" You know what I mean? Totally off topic. You're like, "Am I talking to a human?" You're like, "I think I have to go home and think about this a minute. I'm not talking to you." Oh, crap. This is true. I remember, you know, it was a couple years ago. My daughter, my stepdaughter, she finally screams one day, finally got it out of her system, right? Everything you say is true. Like she had, she interacted with somebody where their eyes shifted and they're interacting with the demon. She's interacting with the demon. It's like, you know, like there has to be that, your programming's over and an experience is like, these things aren't they aren't. They aren't human, you know? And, like, the veneer is gone for a second. You're like, "Oh, wow, man." You're like, that's tough for children and, because and women, you try to raise children and have this happy home and everything's cool and stuff. And you can still do that. You can actually, really actually begin to do it when these, parasites aren't leeching off all your energy and thoughts and time and all that crap on stuff that absolutely doesn't matter. You're not supposed to meet any, like, guilt is the whole thing they're trying to put on us. Oh, you don't know the capital of Saskatchewan, you dumbo. It's like, am I really more intelligent because I don't know the capital of Saskatchewan? You know what I'm saying? Because that's useless programming. Like, why do I, you ain't gonna let me in Canada anyway. Why do I have to know the capital of Saskatchewan? You know what I mean? And all the rest of their verisimilitude nonsense. You see what I'm saying? Like, focus on every day you got to do something like outside, whatever makes you happy, you got to get out of the box. As I say, you got to get out of your four walls and ceiling. My box is considerably smaller than other boxes, so I really have to, but you got to get out and you got to interact with them or whatever, and they let you know what's up. It's all true, and you go about your business and get your assets safe and just set up for the credit and get as much as you can and keep at it and watch over your loved ones because they're obviously going to be coming to them. I had an interesting chat with a client. I'm going to finish up with this unless somebody else has some else coming on. But it was interesting. It was kind of her way of, one way of saying everything you say is real. You know what I mean? Anyway, it was more like this. We were talking, she got some of my time. We chatted, and she was like, and we were talking about different topics. And then she said, "You know what? I just noticed, because we'll be talking and kind of your experiences coalesces. Why? Because we're in individual foxholes. We're pinned down, apart from one another on purpose, right? Oh yeah, we're in the foxhole, right? We're not supposed to get together and join up as something could happen. You know what I mean? Like, they don't like that. You're much easier to control, like these slaves in individual pods and areas, and we'll keep you away from one another and interacting. You don't have to know. We'll just do that. That's their job, you know? And then we'll just, that's their actual weird ass job, is to try and stop us from progressing, which ultimately does what? Causes us to progress because we're like, stop. You know what I mean? We have had enough. We lose the program and we start heading this direction and we see all the truth, and it's like you don't end up wanting anything they have. Yeah, you got to eat, you need a roof over your head, and you should be in a place that you could do things during your daytime that make you happy or whatever, some exercise, hobby, things that interest you. It's very much a part of your life that makes you happy, or else, this dough is just gonna get you anyway. You know what I'm saying? So you got to shake it off, on a regular. On a regular. You gotta do it. You see? And so what she was saying was, she's like, because we were talking about a few topics, because like, who else are you gonna talk to about this stuff? It's hard. Like, you're literally, who you try to talk to someone, they're like, they do this, they just report back to the warden, like they're not, it doesn't go anywhere. And so, I was like, yeah, it's like being an individual foxholes. And she was like, I noticed something. I was like, go ahead. And she said, after I looked at your spiritual work, all of my family quit calling me. And she goes, except for what? Fairy godmother? And she goes, yes. You know what I mean? I was like, me too. My mom only. No one else. I was like, yeah, no one else. You know what I mean? Like, as soon as you find out this is real, the ones that aren't actually human, they know. They can read your mind. They're still connected with your mind, even though you're not reading theirs. That don't mean they stop reading yours. The only thing that stops them is the God's name. and then they can't, or you reach a certain spiritual level, and so then they just know you're there, but they know they can't read your mind. So it's like, uh-oh, you know what I mean? Because what's vision or hearing or taste compared to I can read your mind, right? It would be your number one go-to around humans, right? If you had a bunch of slaves, you'd be like, I read their mind. You know what I mean? How easy would slaves be to wrangle if you're in their mind? But if they can't, they have this like, because it's their number one sense, you see? So they're like blinded around people that have this trust. They're literally blinded. They can't use the sense that they use for their slaves, And so they're like, they have to imitate being a human because they never use other senses to the level of this whole mind reading thing. So they're like, they try and act like a human with the other senses, but they hardly ever use them. So that's why they come off stilted and jilted and like, it don't make no, they're always like a little bit wrong, you know? And that's what you say, ever since I read your spiritual stuff. No one in my family contacts me. She didn't have any arguments. She didn't have any, discussions with these topics about no, none of that. That didn't happen. Just they knew and they didn't contact her. If you don't accept what we're up against, you're not going to get no traction. No way. If you think, oh, life is a bowl of cherries, right? You're in a bowl, right? You're the cherry, you don't know nothing. When you find out, you're like, "Oh, what?" Then they lose their traction and their hold over you, and you lose your desire to be here and do this whole stupid little game that they got going. They're like, "Wait, don't go." You're like, "No, I'm leaving." Our goal is to leave, you see, and not who cares about like, you know what I mean? Think of it like this. You're an elephant, right? Walking around, right? Top there's no one there's no form above our form, the actual human, real form. There's no form. There's nothing to advance to form-wise. We're at the top of the heap. You see, so that's it. There's no up. There's only spiritual realization, and then you don't come back to the body. So, what does that make us? Like, oh, yeah, we're the elephant in here. What are they? Ants? What? I mean, really, as an elephant, can you go about your day and get anything done if you got to worry about stepping on ants? Come on. Who cares? What are you talking about? Stepping on ants down there. There are ants. If you're an elephant, you're like, there what are ants? Describe it to me. You know what I mean? Like you don't even what do you care? Who cares? Get out of the way when the elephant's coming. Or get in line and do what the elephant needs or what? Stop on you. You know what I mean? I'll pray for you. Same thing. You see? You got to you got to see yourself for what it is. You're in your own foxhole. All these other things are trying to disconnect you from reality and so on. And you're there trying to, catch on with reality. And there are very few others doing it. So that's hard. That's not easy. But at least accept and see your predicament. And then once you see where you are, you can get better at it. You see, that's why I try to make this community. You can interact a place, a forum, and stuff, all that, because oh, there isn't anywhere else. There's not going to be anywhere else. Sadly, I know, but that's how you lose your taste for the place, right? Okay. Why am I telling all this truth stuff along with the 501c3 status? Because it's a hidden system. You have to look for the proof. You will know the prophets by their fruit, by what they've done. Have my past predictions all been true? Can you get out of debt? Is all my stuff provable, real, all proven, right? All these testimonials with the notarized affidavit, that's all true. So here I sit, alive. I'm not like one of them. Oh, you got to do this special thing. And no, I'm saying never pay taxes to the government. Never do what they say. Never give them a penny. You get everything you can. You think that's like some Illuminati program or something? That's the real deal. That's what we should be doing. They're not going to have one of them fake characters from Disney come out and say what I'm saying and tell the real truth. They lose all their power once you know the truth. That's why the truth sets you free. You're not like, oh, I got to report tax. No, what? I got to take more of your stuff. I got family. I got my homies. I got the people I love. I have to watch over them. That's what you got to focus on. And the other people in here, oh, you're a human. Oh, they prove it. Rare, right? Right? I found a needle in a stack of needles. That's what it is. A needle in a haystack is a needle in a stack of needles. There's a particular one. No, it looks like all the rest of them. How you gonna find that? Right? It's hard. You have to accept this game for the difficulty level that it is. Only then can you begin to really see it for what it is and get some traction, right? Lose your programming, use this trust. You're safe, your family's safe, your assets are safe, right? And your program dissipates. You're like, no more of that nonsense out of my life. Okay? You with me then? All right, Alan, good to hear from you and everyone else here. Thank you for the support. We'll be back next week, all right? If anyone wants, I'm doing a service on Sundays now at noon with the church. So head over there if you want to talk about the spiritual stuff and whatnot. All right. Thanks for the support. The school needs it, and we appreciate it. And we're here to support and serve you. It's going well. It all works. For those people that are doing it, high five to you. You're the tops in here. You're it, right? There's no one above you. They're scared of us, right? Hi, don't tell them anything. What does that behavior tell us? That's how important we are. That's how powerful this information is. You see, but a whole family doesn't contact me. Why? Fear does that. You see, they're afraid of us. So don't you be afraid of them. It's the opposite. You see, get your sleep at night. Be happy. Watch over your loved ones. Use these abilities, right, to look over your family and your loved ones and yourself. That's what they're for. Okay, they're not going to do it. We have to do it. Okay, lose your programming. Put your heart into your loved ones. All right. Okay. I'll see you next week. Maybe I'll see you Sunday too. Okay, everyone. Have a good week. All right. You got this. All right. Ask for God's help. Right. God give me strength. Right. God help me. And God will. All right. Keep up the good work, everyone. Your progress is amazing compared to the rest of humans. Think about it. You're it. Right. You're the ones breaking trail out there. Okay. Keep it up. Pat yourself on the back. But keep it up. Good job. All right. See you next week.